Friday, January 2nd. We're going to begin our time together by just taking a moment to arrive in our seats. So take a moment to notice, where do you feel the most supported by the place that you are seated? And you can turn to one of your notes sections in your Rise and Shine journal that might have some open space to work with. You can just label it as January 2nd. And once you find that, you want to take a moment to notice, what is that quality of support? What is the part of your body that's the most supported? And what is the quality that you feel? So today we're going to be working with how we are connecting our breath to whatever it is we're paying attention to. That might be a thought. It might be, hold on, let me get you guys unmuted. It could be a thought or an experience. It could be something that's weighing heavy in your head, so you're kind of stuck there. Or when we're going through the movement into the massage, into the rest, it can be, how am I breathing into how my body's moving? And as I'm moving, am I able to unclench and rest down into the flow of the movement? Or when I'm using the percussion tool, can I feel the aliveness of that percussion and breathe to it and rest down into that, rest down into what that feels like? Or when I'm resting, can I stay connected again? I'm still staying connected to the area that I'm working with, and can I breathe to that and feel it unclench and move into the rest that is being available, or the stillness that is available? So take a moment in your notes sheet, and you want to write those 4 things. I'm writing, what am I thinking about? How am I, give it like a space, and then how am I moving? And then give it a space. And then the percussion and a space, and then rest, and a space. So thinking about moving, percussion, and rest. So it should look something like that in one of your free note pages. I'm going to say it again. Thinking about movement, percussion, and rest. And just let me know when you guys have those in place.
Got it.
So take a moment again, and we're going to bring our awareness back to what is the quality of support that we're feeling. See if we can feel what is the word and that quality that's being offered to us for this practice today. And let me know when you guys have that.
I do.
So do we have the quality of support?
I do. I'm not sure you heard me the first time.
Yeah,
I got it too.
Okay, yeah, I was waiting for the other person. Okay, so we want to take a moment and notice what is something that your brain is stuck on today? What is something that your mind is really weighing heavy on your mind or stuck on it? Take a moment and let yourself think about that. So you want to notice when you feel that, notice what happens in your brain. Notice where you go in your head, like where does that pull you when you're thinking about that? You can even draw your little body diagram in the notes medium there and just kind of draw, what does it feel like as you are thinking that, as you're thinking what is alive for you? Which way does that pull your head and your brain? What do you guys notice?
I notice chaos, swirling action. I cannot locate a particular place in my brain because it's everywhere.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And then notice, like, when that's going everywhere, then how far away is your brain from that support that's being offered?
It feels like miles.
Right. Exactly. So just kind of feel that distance. That's our distance between the support we have going on that's just right there, but we're disconnecting from that because we're up here in what the brain is doing. How about the other participant? What do you notice? What does your brain feel like? Can you feel the direction that it gets pulled?
I don't know the direction. It's still in my head, but what happens is a lot of thoughts come arising, like the reason for it, or I'm messing up, or something like that. I'm aware of more negative thoughts.
Right. So if we slow it down and we look at, here's what my brain is doing, and then my neck, my posture actually changes out of this, oh, I'm here and I'm supported, to I'm engaging with this thought. My body is following this thought. And we can feel how the body begins to move. It's interesting, in the movements that I uploaded today, I have 2 of them that are coming up today. They're 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes of movement, 5 minutes of percussion, and then 5 minutes of rest. So it's quick and it's really challenging because the movements may create your mind to start thinking a whole bunch of stuff. It may evoke a bunch of stuff in your brain about what you think you can or can't do, or what you want to do or don't want to do, or any of that stuff. And so you're going to feel how your first response, your first reaction is going to be what's happening in your brain. And one of the things that we're invited to do when we're doing the movement into rest sequences, to be breathing to, I'm breathing to what's going on. But what I realized today when I was doing it, more of what's going on is what's going on in my brain. And if I can work with that, then I get to what's going on in my actual body. But then the 5 minutes is up, or the position changes, or whatever. So it's like this, oh, wow, we really have 4 primary ways that we are invited to be breathing to our experience and helping our body to unclench the way we have done it, so that we can be offered a new way in our system. But think about your vascular system. Think about your veins in your vascular system and how you have these chambers where the blood comes up and it goes to the next chamber, and then it pumps and it goes to the next chamber and it comes up. And this is kind of like what we're being invited to do. It's like we're being invited to slow it down where we work one at a time. And the Christ miracle is that instead of me going this way on this familiar, this is what I know I'm capable of, this is what I think should be happening, this is what I think they should be doing, blah, 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 blah. Why can't I do what I think I should be doing? all of the different things that come up. What's happening when we are moving into relationship with Christ is we actually change directions. So we go in a direction that we don't have a map for in our brain. So it's always going to be super evoking. And we're trying to, first we make the choice to show up and do it. But then the second thing that we're really being invited to do is to come in. And in order for me to be carried, I have to gather this mindset. And I have to partner with this mindset and gather it tenderly and breathe to it and help it learn that it's able to rest, that there is something here for it. But it's like the first participant said, it's a mile down the road. So that's the distance. Even when we're now going to get in and even try to do a movement, and then if the movement's complicated, we want to be able to start noticing what is my brain doing as it's going through this process of dying, because it's going the reverse direction is what we're inviting it to do. So that feels really impossible. So if we can even begin to see that we are evoked and we're aware of that evoking, we're already into a really good step, because now we can actually relate rather than unconsciously just be reacting and running 2 miles away from the support that's right here. What stands out? I know I've just said a lot. How do you guys see that? How do you guys experience that in yourselves?
It kind of struck me as you were talking and reminded us that we're not really even remembering the gift or the the support. Excuse me. And mine is allowing. And I feel like I'm in a huge circle, like a traffic circle, a roundabout. Right. And I don't quite know how to get out safely, because there's like several different tracks with the big ones that happens. And so I'm just I am swirling and frozen at the same time. And then I just thought it was very interesting that my support is allowing. And I'm frantically trying to control a situation that I cannot control. And so the message is to just allow. And for me, what comes up first is to slow down.
Right, right. And then notice the distance that starts to happen, even just with that realization.
It is slowing down, because I even just became aware that my support is allowing.
Yeah.
And that it's okay to feel frozen too. I don't have to be like Superwoman trying to master this whole thing. Right. So I could just be, and that alone already slows it down.
Right. And frozen is good, because otherwise I could be 5 miles away, right? So if I'm frozen, at least I can't be making more of a distance, more of a mess. I'm just like stuck. So then I'm closer to being able to come back to that support. So frozen is a good thing, because that can actually help us not have to traverse so far back, to make our way back into just being held. So this one is an interesting one, because I want to be able to breathe to up into my head. And as I exhale, can I feel the way that my head is positioned up and in whatever direction it's going? Can I feel it begin to unclench and meet the rest that is available in whatever way that happens for you? So we're just breathing to it. Can I feel the expansion of my breath move up into my head? And as I exhale, can I feel a settling down in whatever way my system is able to? We're going to spend the next 4 minutes just doing that. Breathing up into your head, thinking about the thing that you have going on that you're attached to. Exhaling. And some aspect of that being able to unclench. You gather with the expansion of your breath. Can you gather around the thought process, around the circumstance? And as you exhale, can you gently bring in that circumstance that you're facing just into a place of stillness, a place of being held? And then take a moment again and look at what you were attached to and notice, what do you see about that now? How did it shift?
It's for me, it's less chaotic in my head.
Uh-huh.
My mind is much more still, even though there's still some stuff going on, but I also feel like an expansion, which is surprising because it wasn't that easy to unclench in my head.
Right. Exactly. Can you feel, for me, I'm like super glued to the top of my head, like on a mission, trying to do whatever I think I'm doing, right? And so taking time with that and like putting my hand on my own back up there, like, hey, there's another way. And that part's like, get off me. No, we're going this way, you know, and for us to be able to begin to have this awareness where I can be doing these movements and I can be doing the Theragun and I can be doing the rest. And if I'm thinking the whole time, then I'm still not able to really come down into this. So that how I'm thinking about the experience is a huge part of what allows me to actually be carried. It's huge. It's huge, huge, huge. How about the other participant? What did you notice this as you sat with the breathing?
I noticed that the the strong energetic feeling in my head dissipated a little bit, and I started feeling my solar plexus, an aliveness in my solar plexus. It was like there was a really concentrated efforting in the head, and it kind of loosened its grip a little bit and allowed me to feel some energy in my solar plexus.
Uh-huh. So now we're going to move into moving. So if you're your solar plexus, you're going to move in a way that begins to move that. You're breathing to that and you are letting go. For the other participant, you're just noticing what are you aware of in your system. And we're going to begin to do a movement now for 4 minutes. And we're breathing to what we're feeling. And as we exhale, we're unclenching and moving very slowly. If you're able to breathe to what you are feeling, the place that you're feeling it. And are you able to unclench around it, making more space for the experience to occur? And then notice what that was like. What do you feel now?
Well, I am experiencing a slight pressure on my forehead as I'm moving, which actually surprises me. But it also makes me think, well, the skull is there and there's not really any expansion possible, but I know now I'm thinking. But that pressure just suddenly on my forehead came on, and I can still feel it a little bit as I was moving.
And then were you able to get the breath to it, or did it just come on like recently?
It just came on at the very end, like right before I decided to say something.
Yeah. So, we have all the unwinding of the cranial bones and all of that stuff that when we start to settle, we'll find their best position. And so being able to kind of stay with how the body is showing you, this is where I need to unwind. This is where I'm holding.
Mm-hmm.
And we're breathing. Go ahead.
I realize it's right around my eyes, especially my right one. This, where the bones form the space for the eye to sit in.
And so you're just breathing right into that space behind there.
Yep. Now it's gone as quickly as it came.
Mm-hmm. And then notice what comes next, because the body is going to go through its own unwinding, and it's showing us where it needs oxygen by showing us where sensation is. And so if we're able to follow it and just breathe to it and give it that oxygen, but you can see the brain wants to not connect to it and go into some story about it. Like the brain is always trying to go the opposite, because it's trying to keep things in place where it put it. And we'll go back in to like let the divine take us on a journey. The brain has to be in relationship with that and remap whatever that is. It has to understand it in a new way. So notice that process that the brain goes through. Notice how the brain's initial story until, if we give it a little bit more time, then what does it offer you?
Now it's underneath. First it went to the other side, and now it's underneath at that lower edge of those bones. Huh. Yeah, it's moving. It's not dramatic, but it's clearly there.
Yeah. And that's your body going through its own healing. Your body knows how to do it. We just don't slow down enough to offer it enough space to do it. And so as we just keep making space, you're breathing up into it and letting it keep moving, then it comes to another place where it's stuck and I need to give it more breath and then open up around it so that it can keep going. And then notice what happens. What do you feel now?
It's calm right now. It's almost like there's hovering on the outside, almost as if I had something lightly covering my eyes,
Mm-hmm.
like an eye mask.
Uh-huh. And if you were to look at the thing that you were attached to in the beginning and the distance that you've come from that, just notice that difference.
It's interesting because as you were saying this, I see this, I have my eyes closed and I see this purple light. And everything is really nice and calm, I mean peaceful. And what was making my brain go in so many different directions, it seems to have shrunk somehow.
Mm-hmm.
It has happened to me quite a few times when I'm really in a space of surrender and realize how not in charge I am.
Uh-huh.
Then it puts it into perspective of sorts, and what I thought was so big is still there, but it's much smaller.
Yeah.
Some of these things are very big. It's not like something little.
Yeah.
In my life, but there's a shift in perspective. That's the best way I know how to say it.
And the part of yourself that wants to be in control, the part of yourself that is striving to be in control, gets to rest in the purple light. So we're bringing those two together because that part doesn't yet know that experience of that purple light that's available. And so that's what we're bringing together with our body. I'm bringing the experience of myself that feels like it has to hyper control into the experience that the divine is giving me. Notice what happens when those two can come together in whatever way that makes sense for your system.
There was just now a shift of integration, like there's a connection, a pathway established, like a balancing between where I initially felt the support and my head.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really my whole head that's involved. It's not just the brain.
Yeah.
So yeah, it feels, right now it feels peaceful, like a restful state. I think that my body was able to bring the two together. The purple light is long gone, but somehow there is like some sort of reconciliation, and the sense of being nurtured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we take that and then we move into a rest practice. So we're going to do 10 minutes of rest and watch what happens for our system. So when we have a shift, let's go ahead and get comfortable. You're doing the same thing in the rest position. You're noticing where you're the most held, and you're breathing into what you're feeling and inviting it to unclench into the way that you're held in this moment. And again, you're breathing to it. And bringing it in. And if there is a positive response, we're also bringing that into rest as well. And then just slowly blink your eyes open and turning your head side to side. And looking into the space around you. And we are going back to looking at what is the experience that you began with. And notice how that feels different now. Notice what you're able to how you're able to see it. And notice how you see it now. What changes?
I felt a couple of times a gentle integration. It almost felt like I was laying flat, and it felt like my whole body was just very gently, not lifted, but just like, I don't know how to describe it except that, yeah, lifted a little bit, but then afterwards it just felt lighter. I really noticed it because it involved my entire body.
Yeah. And that is being carried.
Yeah, that's exactly how it felt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's waiting for us in each of these things. But one of the things that can make us miss it if we're missing what's happening in our brain and not gathering our brain to be a part of what's being supported.
Mm-hmm.
When we're doing our movements, when we're doing percussion, when we're doing rest. And we're going to be working with this over the next few weeks of just helping to feel where that is, and then breathing to it. And then can I feel myself unclenching? If I don't consciously let go to be carried, I'm not going to be carried. I'm the one that's still managing it. And you can look back at your thing that you started with and notice how that feels different now.
From it being this challenge that I saw, almost like a kryptonite wall,
Right.
I feel almost like a little spark of excitement now.
Yeah. Excitement and being carried. Like,
yes. Yes.
It's a totally different way of responding to the circumstance rather than reactively trying to control the circumstances through what our brain understands as powerful or not powerful. And being able to bring our brain into this very nurturing experience rather than trying to tell the brain to not be rageful or controlling or hurt or misunderstanding or whatever. All of those things are meant to be carried. They're all meant to come home. So I have to be evoked. I have to have that response. And then I'm gathering that response into this place. And when he's having us, can you breathe to it? Can you even get your breath to it? In the beginning, sometimes not. And even throughout a whole exercise, sometimes not. Sometimes I might be in there for that 5 minutes and I can't get it unclenched because it's been like that for a long time. And so this is where we're practicing that skill of slowing it way down. We have in the YouTube page and also in the app, I uploaded the 5-5-5s. These are like ones that we can do when we don't have a lot of time to do 10 minutes and 10 minutes and 20 minutes. But if we wanted to go quickly, 5-5-5, to start practicing. And it's a little evoking because it's shorter. So you're like, oh, I didn't get it. But it's better to keep trying to make these connections and have a near miss than not, because it prepares us to do it in real time through movement in the middle of a circumstance that I'm actively in, that I can't come back and go and, lay down for 20 minutes. I have to be in that circumstance. So how do I do it when I'm moving and engaging with somebody who's right in front of me or a circumstance that's right in front of me? It's cool. It's a challenge. So we just take a moment to bow our heads and our hearts and our lives to our living Creator, saying thank you for the way that we are designed. How remarkable that we get to be able to participate in this way. Thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus. And thank you, Holy Spirit. I look forward to seeing you when it suits your schedule next. Take care. Practice this evening will be at 9 o'clock because I'm going to be traveling south. So it won't be until later, but I'll send out a link for everybody.
Thank you for that.
I will see you later. Bye.
Mhm.